can you give me one Peyton Manning story that sums it all up? That sums it all up as to who he is, what he stood for, what he did for the team, type of person. Is there something that you could express now that he is in the Hall?
I'll give you two stories
Please.
that really tell everything about Peyton Manning. Number one, we're getting ready for the Super Bowl against the Bears. He watches every game, every regular season game for the last 2 years. He has Jim Sorgi watch the preseason games for guys who weren't even on the team anymore in case they did something in the preseason that they didn't show in the regular season they might do against us. So he's preparing like mad. And then we're up in Indy still. We haven't even gone to Miami. And he says, I'm looking at the 14-day forecast, and it says it might rain. We ought to practice with wet balls. I'm like, are you crazy? What are we going to practice with wet balls for 2 weeks before the game? Well, because he's so that way, we practice with wet balls. And don't you know it rained the whole game? But that's his level of preparation. I'm going to watch all the tape, but I'm even going to be watching the weather. So that talks about his preparation, but his desire to help everybody be better. The greatest story I tell about Peyton, my last year coaching was 2008. He's already won a Super Bowl. He's been 3-time MVP. We draft a receiver, Anthony Gonzalez from Ohio State. Ohio State goes to school all the way through June, so Anthony can't be in our off-season program. Peyton, on his own, 2 days a week, after we would get done, he'd get in his car, drive 3 hours to Columbus, Ohio, take the playbook with him, go over the playbook for an hour with Anthony, throw for an hour, and then drive back. 8 hours twice a week to help Anthony Gonzalez learn the playbook. And that's Peyton Manning. He wanted to make his teammates better. He wanted to win. He wanted to prepare. But he's a special person.
And obviously, he's known for his audibling, Tony. And but the guy who is known for changing a play or living by the moment in that regard is somebody, as you point out, wants to be as prepared and as scripted as possible. So the fact that you and David Baker and his family was able to surprise him for his for being told that he's going in the Hall of Fame, that. Can you walk me through that? That had to be like top secret, high level stuff to actually pull that one off.
It was so top secret, and it was funny because David Baker talked to his wife, Ashley, and said, what can we do? What would he like? How could we best get this to him? And she said, well, he would love to have all of his coaches, everybody who's kind of played a role in this, be part of it, and him hearing that would be special to him. So the Hall of Fame contacted everybody, started with his high school coach and went all the way through all the coaches that it had. And I think 5 of us were able to fly to Denver, and the other guys were on video. But we flew to Denver. They told Peyton he was going to be taping one of those Peyton's Places segments in the stadium. And then they had us come out the tunnel. And Philip Fulmer, his college coach, said, we're placing bets in the tunnel. How long is it going to take? And his back was to us, and we settled on the over-under was 3 seconds. But we walked out, and we didn't even David Cutcliffe didn't hit the end zone before he turned around. What's going on here? And it was like he had eyes in the back of his head, but he was very surprised. He knew something was up, but he didn't know what it was, and it was a great thrill to have all of his coaches speak to him. His high school coach, I think, is in his 80s. And he spoke over video, and it was fantastic.
So I hope you took the under. All the coaches took the under, right?
We all took the under. I said he'll know before we even get out there that something is going to happen. So it was great. And then David Baker came out after us with the announcement, and it was really neat.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.